Let's hear it for, come on, 700 reps. How many you got? How many you got? Let's get behind them, folks.
What is strength? Jordan Shallow has a great line that I heard this year. It's so befitting. It is to be an unstoppable force and an immovable object. And it applies, like when we're thinking of lifting weights, you want to exert force on an object and move it. And you want other parts of your body to stay stable, to resist things. And that's, just becoming like a juggernaut of a human being, of a mountain of a man, is kind of our goals. We look at everyone walking around here at the Expo. There's monsters everywhere, just unstoppable forces, immovable objects, like just people who are just very solid and large. And that's how we always think about strength. And then, we hear people talking about having a strong mind, but what does that mean, right? What does it mean to have a strong mind? And I always think of, well, it's the exact same thing. It's you want to be an unstoppable force and an immovable object. So you want to be emotionally and mentally stable. You want to be strong. You want to have character to persevere against things, but you also want to be able to move things. And emotionally and like spiritually or mentally, those abilities are your ability to help people, to move people, or to do things for yourself, to help yourself, but it's kind of like having an impact on other people. It means I can lean on him. He's an immovable object. I can lean on him, I can count on him. But it also means he can lift me up. He can raise me up. So when people say, what does it mean to be strong? As I get older in life, these are the things that I think of. It's more about the force that you can exert on the rest of the world, or how you can be there for people as the roots in a tree or the base of a mountain kind of thing.
Whenever I walk into the Expo, that's the first thing I look for is the animal banner. And then when I see it, I see the cage and the booth set up and everybody surrounded it. It gets me super excited. And this year with the theme of the military, the shirts and everything, and the proceeds that it's going towards, I thought it was a really cool deal, especially having the amount of lifters they had. Casey Mitchell was always one of my favorites to see, and I remember him, I believe he missed 600 last year, and he pulled a PR here at the cage. I think it was 630.
The ability for somebody to, really sacrifice so much for the country. You got these guys that are amputees, and they're coming back and competing in the same sports that we are with the, lifting. I mean, I can't imagine what that would be like. Obviously, they make it, like it's almost like there's no limitation for them.
So I'm really proud to be with a company that is willing to give back, to the military, give them recognition. I mean, we have the U.S. flag on our shirts.
Being a veteran is something that I hold really close to my heart. It was really cool to not only showcase strength, but I think it showcases what the military is, honestly, because you see a lot of the guys, all the guys that competed yesterday, we all have basically the same background, and that we are strong now, and we're able to showcase that, and I think that definitely represents who we are as veterans, regardless of the branch that we served in.
I kind of put myself in that perspective of I just sit here and lift weights and it's a fun hobby, but then they're having to actually fight, just risk your life constantly for just to stay alive or just to fight. So, I think about that as a big inspiration, and it's certainly something I think about a lot when I'm trying to prepare myself for, something that's a challenge.
Strength is not physical. Strength starts in your mind. I think most people think that it's something that you do in the gym, and it's not. I think it's 100% your mindset, and once you've got your mind right, your body's gonna do what it's told.
Dan Green is pretty much the person I look up to the most for animal. I mean, this is the guy who I wear his animal shirt with him on it every meet. And that's for a reason, because it's just like respect. Even he has gone through some tough times. So to see him pull 900 today, I know how long he's been chasing that, and that was huge for him. Really cool to see.
Today, now it's the heaviest I've lifted in the cage, but it's also the heaviest I've ever lifted in a deadlift. It was also fun because I think, for myself, when I compete as a sumo deadlifter because I can typically lift more. This year following the surgery, it felt better to train conventional. And I enjoy training conventional a lot, so it's been a pretty fun opportunity just to focus on that more.
I went to go just wash up my hands from loading plates and stuff like that, and walking back to the cage, and I see Steffi Cohen on the way to the cage, and this is the first time I've ever seen her lift, ever. And she's walking, snapping, taking pictures with fans and stuff, walks into the cage, and probably in like less than 35 minutes with her warm-ups, deadlifts 545 pounds.
I'm very impressed because I think she's the first woman that's had their own main event lifting, especially on Saturday afternoon, to just come in and lift huge weights.
Kaylor pulled 930, which is a record for the deadlift in the cage.
What I'm gonna do is squat to parallel or just below parallel, but I'm gonna pause it. So I'm gonna have the MC say 1/1000, and then I'll come up and try to do as many reps as I can with no belt. When Tom Platt squatted 500 pounds for 23 reps, that's a really untouchable record. I'll be really honored to try and at least get 15 reps, hopefully, to be close to Tom Platz and stuff.
me, I think after like the 8th rep, it's all up here, you know, like you want to quit, but you can't quit. What I'm planning to do today is squat in knee wraps, 700 pounds for as many reps as I can. The motivation behind it was that in this year's World's Strongest Man, that was one of the events, squatting 700 for maximum reps. And I remember Eddie Hall, who won the World's Strongest Man, did 15. So, you know, it's a lofty goal, I guess. And I know as far as like squatting for reps goes, it's usually going to be pretty exciting to watch that kind of an event. I think I've only seen one other person do the like 700 pounds attempted for 10. It'll be pretty rough for him. It's a pretty challenging event, but pretty fun for everyone else to watch. So I'm sure he'll have fun doing it. He's a pretty competitive guy.
Let's get behind him. Come on, Andrew. How many you got? How many you got?
This year didn't really go as I expected. I came in with high aspirations. I wanted to pull 875 on a squat bar since that's how I've been training. And then I go into meets and it's actually a little easier on the deadlift bar, but for some reason, like I tried like 845 and that wasn't there. And then actually earlier in the day, I tried 825 on a deadlift bar. I got that, but it was really tough. So everything was moving kind of slow today. It just wasn't my best day.
Was very disappointed, but I mean, he's a great deadlifter. He's one of the best on the planet, and he's hit a lot of bigger lifts in training lately, but he'll get it next year.
A little frustrating. I warmed up and stopped. About 4 days ago, I ended up straining my front delt. I warmed up to 405 and it was getting worse and worse, so I decided to go ahead and call it. There's no point in risking all my meets that I have coming up and lined up because I got like 3 or 4 already set up for the rest of the year. Is what it is. Luckily Julius was there and he stepped in and was able to finish the lift. A strong guy, he hit 705, which he actually just did in a meet not too long ago, so he's getting up there. He's got a shot at the all-time record here soon.
Rob squatted over 900. It's like it's nothing for him. And JP Price also was over 900.
Come on!
Brandon Purdue, he benched 605. Beforehand, he told me he was going to bench 575, so he could kind of save himself a little bit to bench with the really heavy dumbbells. But which, even though that sounds kind of hilarious to the average person, he then went ahead and did 605, and to my shock, he actually immediately picked up the heavy 200-pound dumbbells and started doing reps with them. So that was very impressive.
It's not like he bench pressed 600, then he sat up, had a sip of water, rolled up his sleeves. He bench pressed 600 pounds, immediately sat up. As soon as his legs hit the ground, he had the next weight on, loaded it up. That was pretty creative and crazy. Andy Huang deadlift with Jordan Shallow and T. Cummins. It's nice to finally see Andy lift in person. I've only seen him lift in video, and it's just pretty cool to see someone deadlift 800 pounds, no belt, no problem, be disappointed with the amount of reps they get.
Okay, well, who's the best? Oh, okay, well, pretty much everybody. Obviously, Milanchev is the best. He's got the highest total. I've competed with him in 3 different countries now.
Вообще, в целом, я слежу только за собой. Моя задача – прийти, выполнить тренировочную программу, собраться и уйти. Вот. Я как бы не слежу особо за другими людьми. Потому что я потренировался и пошел спать и есть.
I picked one of the best deadlifters in my class to go against, so that more or less makes me kind of like the underdog, because this is like specifically his good lift. So I picked Steve Johnson, and he's currently the American record holder in the 308 class.
They're going to be going back and forth at that bar like a pack of wolves.
So I thought, let's make it a little more interesting in doing a rep challenge, but at this point, we're gonna take turns. So every 30 seconds, more or less, we're gonna have one go, another one go, and then wait 30 seconds. So we're gonna give a little bit more time to rest. So it should up the ante in regards to reps and then intensity as far as easy event goes. What is strength? Just basically never quit, never one to give up. I think that's what true strength is. And just happen to be able to lift a lot of weight too, definitely helps.
Let's go, big dog. Get it. Ah, 64. He wants another one. 64. He's gonna go for 65. Let's go, big dog. Let's go. 65 reps. Give it up, folks. 65 reps. Give it up. These guys are amazing. They just deadlifted for over an hour with 600 pounds, bleeding, sweating, giving everything they got.
You're gonna have ups and downs, peaks and valleys. You have to stay pretty neutral as far as not getting too crushed by your down times and not getting too high with the good times.
I mean, strength is just an ability to do things that are challenging, whether it's courage. Our sport defines it pretty clearly of lifting weights and that sort of thing.
The capacity, I think, to overcome some type of obstacle, whether it's physical or mental. How do you overcome that? How do you overcome like getting over the white noise? I think just having the drive, your determination, and mainly the will to move forward.